event highlighting prescription drug abuse and the problems of leaving drugs in the cabinet and what can happen to them if people get a hold on them and get addicted to them.
Because unfortunately, most people, what do? They either store them in their cabinets, medicine cabinet or kitchen cabinets, which is problematic for reasons that we'll go over in a sec, or they flush them down the toilet, which is problematic for our wastewater. Some of these prescription drugs are just as harmful and addictive as heroin, right? So we wouldn't want to store that in our medicine cabinets. And that's one of the things I think that we want to take away from this is that if you live with other people, one of the most important things is to secure prescription drugs in a place where they're not going to be accessible. Prescription drug abuse is a serious threat, not just to seniors, which is a significant at-risk population on these overdoses, but also to our youth.
Well, I had learned about it overtaking car accidents as the leading cause of accidental death in America, and to me that was stunning and almost unbelievable until I talked to our local emergency management service director, Dr. Salvucci, and I said, "Is this true?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know kids, local kids who have died because of it." We just resolved that we needed to do something about it and try to spread the word locally in Ventura and Santa Barbara County about the dangers of prescription drugs.
So in the old days when I started practice 30 years ago, heroin and cocaine were the bad things. People died of heroin, they died of cocaine, but all of the other were good things. The Vicodin, the Percocet, that helped with pain. The methadone, well, that was safe. That kept you from, that got you off of the heroin. But in fact, those all now exceed by a significant amount the deaths from heroin.
So what then to do? We made a decision to create a work group, essentially a task force of county agencies and departments, leadership from Public Health, Ventura County Sheriff's Department, Ventura County Office of Education, to sort of maximize our local collaborative efforts and to create a comprehensive set of strategies that we put together in our work plan. So one of our main focus is to try and help people not become addicted and to really focus on trying to get prescription drugs less available.
You got to communicate the dangers of prescription drugs. You got to make sure that kids know in every action that you take, from those couple of scotches at night to the discussing or not discussing the drugs, to the using of the drugs, to the attitude you have towards drugs. They're watching all those things. You got to safeguard the medicines and dispose of the ones you don't have.
One principle was drilled into my brain as a preventionist, and it is that availability shapes patterns of use, and patterns of use shapes the patterns of community problems. So we have to ask ourselves what examples are we setting. We also have to ask ourselves what's the level of availability in our community, in our family, in our home, and what can we do to change that?
If you're part of a PTA group, a church group, a teen group, anything like that wants to learn more about the possible dangers of prescription drugs and what to tell people not to do, then please contact my office. We want to come and talk with you.